I'm not even going to wait. I'm just going to get into it. As you can see in the picture, this is an actress named Lashana Lynch, if I am correct in pronouncing her name. She is a British actress, most recently seen in the Captain Marvel movie as a supporting character. Monica Rambeau, I believe her name was. And I could be wrong about that. And personally, I just don't even care. Well, this is your new James Bond. This female, this British female, is your new James Bond. The movie will be Bond 25. That's what they're calling it right now. Daniel Craig is in the movie as a retired 007, and she has assumed his number. And they also state that she will spurn his advances and be flippant with him in some manner, and that Bond has to learn to survive in a Me Too or a post Me Too environment or world. Well, what's wrong with this? Everything. I'm not even going to the whole thing about James Bond being an iconic figure in publishing and film over the last 40 to 50 years. I'm not even going to go into that. I'm just going to go into what I perceive as the blatant hypocrisy and BS by this reported Me Too movement or the whack feminists. They're responsible for this mess. Why can't they just make an original character? Why can't they make an original movie with these elements in it and put this actress in it instead of doing her a disservice by trying to graft onto a decades old iconic film character? I mean, they go out of their way to make sure that you know that she's a secret agent that has just adopted his number. So basically, this woman is an agent that's getting a hand-me-down number from a guy that has done so much for the world in the universe of James Bond. So, you know, I'm getting tired of this crap. I'm getting tired of this. I'm getting tired of it. This grafting of different characters. I don't want to say so much a race bending or gender bending, but that is the problem when it comes to an established franchise like this. They're currently doing it in that new Terminator movie. They're just making it female centric. And that wasn't even what it was about. It was about survival. And they keep making these goddamn Terminator movies. And I'm just tired of looking at the mess. And you got James Cameron coming out and giving it a high five because he wants a damn royalty check. He's a damn sellout. And the only movie anybody want to see as far as that franchise goes is the Future War. I guess they can't find the money. So now here we are with James Bond, and James Bond is going to be gender bent and race bent into a female character. I don't agree with it. I think it's shit. Yeah, I said it. I think it's shit. I'm going to be honest. The character of James Bond in his film series has been largely stagnant with many redundant elements or new things mixed in that don't fit the narrative. And I think that Daniel Craig has overstayed his welcome. Probably the last two films. They should have gotten a new gentleman to play James Bond. They tested the waters with this rebranding when they mentioned Idris Elba as a possible new Bond, but he saw the writing on the wall and he didn't want any crap from the public, so he gracefully backed out. But they were still gonna push this narrative anyway, regardless of what it would mean to the franchise. And I just don't understand it, man. I've already said how I feel they should just make a brand new character or make a new movie with these elements. But when I look at it, I guess these writers don't have the experience They don't have the balls to make something new for the public. We're at a really low, dark ages of entertainment right now because of the politics infusing it and the lack of creativity and backstage show business nonsense. This is what you get. You get female James Bond, who has to learn from the retired James Bond, Daniel Craig, or has to team with him in some way, while also being petulant and flippant with a senior agent. Can't she do it on her own? Why can't she have her own number? In one of the movies, I can't remember, it probably was Thunderball, they actually showed the agents assembled in the Parliament building or wherever the MI6 headquarters. And it was a nice giant set. And they had this desk and it was like mirrored Spectre set up, but they had all these guys sitting in these chairs at this half round table. And you saw Sean Connery there receiving his orders in a folder or something. I can't remember what movie that was. But like there's more than 7 numbers, They could just gave her a number and made her own person. I'll give her some agency. But no, she's the new 007s just so they can show that little iconic opening segment where Bond walks out and shoots the camera. And there'll just be a black female there and she'll be like, "Oh, weren't what you were expecting. It's me, a black female. And I'm probably gay too. I'm going to have a scene with a woman, just to shove it in your face." They're not making anything new. They're not adding anything to the proceedings. And I knew something was screwy when they added this writer and they were talking about her snarky writing, one of the writers on this new Bond. I can't recall her name and I don't feel like looking it up. Yes, it is disrespectful and I don't care. They don't care about maintaining the franchise or giving the public what they want, which is the first rule of entertainment. Get the people what they want. But we're not in that era anymore. We're in an era where people are being provocative for the sake of being provocative. I don't understand it. Either you want to make money or you don't want to make money. Maybe this thing will make $1 billion. Maybe it'll be a wild, flaming success, but my money won't be added to this or anything like this. I will not be seeing that Terminator. I have not paid for Captain Marvel. I won't pay for any Captain Marvel, anything I perceive to be that ilk in the future. I'm not doing it. I'm 50 years old. I'm a Generation Xer, and I have lived in an era where we had decent female characters in these genre films. We had Sigourney Weaver in Aliens, or the Alien series, the original one, if you want to count that, even a French one that's horrible, but she still was aggressive and an alpha female in that without being offensive. And yeah, that was a horrible movie. She was actually a clone that was spliced with an alien, and she still was a better hero than Captain Marvel. We've had Linda Hamilton in T2 as a badass female. And it's not in your face. And we see her, we know who she is. She has a history, and this is a natural progression of her character. She doesn't just do anything out of, political spite. Even in that movie when she was yelling at the black guy who they conveniently blamed for the end of the world, the other character was like, putting, just toning it down. It was like, hey, let's be constructive here. We're talking about Armageddon. But now we got a new Terminator with a weird asexual looking woman with a butch mole, Three Stooges mole haircut. And, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it, man. What's going on? What is going on? We got people being provocative for no reason. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's happened in entertainment and other areas of this country, but mostly in entertainment. That's where my interests lie primarily. But there's this prevailing sense of, I don't know. I don't know how to call it. I don't know what to classify it, but it just annoys the hell out of me. It's irritating. It's not feminism. Well, now they say it's feminism. They keep using the buzzword "Me Too," but that's all whack. That's a bunch of bull crap because "Me Too" was just a political or device to fleece old rich dudes for money. That's all they really do when they're not chasing black male celebrities and demonizing them in the public. Beyond all that, there's this really weird whack feminism, as I call it, that isn't standing for a damn thing. They say they're for women's issues, they want recognition and inclusion and everything, but when the chips are down, when it's time for them to say something, you never hear from them. There's a number of women that's missing, women of color, as they like to call it, and they didn't say anything. And there's a bunch of other stuff. They don't talk about uh, the Epstein guy who's had an island full of underage girls, who's been convicted for child trafficking. They don't say anything about that. But they're mostly interested in invading traditionally male spaces and imposing their will on it. And I'm just tired of it, okay? I'm not subscribing to it and I'm not giving them my money to annoy me. This is the reason I didn't go see Captain Marvel. It's not the only reason, as far as I'm concerned. For when I think about Captain Marvel, I think about it being cast wrong. They didn't cast anyone that was heroic or had any acting chops, and it was just a by the numbers Marvel movie. That was further evidence that Disney thought they had the license to print money, and they didn't have to care about quality anymore or telling a good story because none of it was visually arresting or interesting in any way. Now, does that make me a misogynist because I feel that way? Or does it make me somebody that's looking for some entertainment, a decent story, some arresting visuals, some return on my, you know, capital as a person that's gone to these movies for over 10 years and read the comics in my youth back in the 70s. Yeah, we get to 2019 and we got a bunch of, I don't know, female people, meatheads being needlessly, I guess you would say, provocative, in the media, up to, so, I don't know where they're going with that. But the latest thing is annoying and it infuriates me because I don't want a female black James Bond. I don't want that. I want him to be a British white guy. Okay? I want him to be a British white guy. And I want them to find a formula that works. Personally, I believe that after Daniel Craig, post Daniel Craig, that what's old was be new again. I think they need to go back to the Cold War aesthetic and the world stage, settings of Bond. I mean, they had the locales. They had a substantial reduction in the quality of female leads in these movies. I'm sorry, I just can't get into it. But they need to go old school instead of, I don't know, what some people would call woke. I don't subscribe to that because a lot of people that are using that terminology are just closeted bigots, and I don't get into that. I don't get into that. I don't subscribe to that, but I know I'm annoyed by this. I'm tired of them coming into our spaces. I want a James Bond that harkens back to the original productions. That's what we need. We need that. I don't want an invisible car or nothing, but I want some exotic villains. I want exotic locations. I want to be entertained. I want to see some car chases. I want to see some shooting. I want practical effects. I don't want Daniel Craig looking like he's suffering from an ulcer or looking like he's going to retch when he has to kiss his female co-star. I'm just tired of that. I'm tired of this dysfunctional, morose character that Bond has become. But I don't want a female with a hand-me-down number given shoved up in my face, and I ain't paying for it. I just want some entertainment. What's wrong with the first rule of entertainment? Give the people what they want, you doofuses up there in Hollywood. I don't want a female James Bond. I don't want Lashana Lynch playing this role. I don't want to see. I don't want to see any of this crap like this. It's just retarded. Why do they feel the need to graft their agenda onto pre-established characters? They have money, they have resources and whatnot, and they can't develop an original concept. And they have to always graft it on to a pre-establishing mostly male character. Just want to say this. I'm just trying to make a point. Whenever you see one of these things, I don't really feel it's legitimate when it's something that's grafted onto a pre-existing, well, not even in an intelligent way. I understand that. 007 is a government designated number in that mythology, but it just doesn't make any sense to have it passed on to another agent, male or female. So I think this is just some kind of a publicity stunt or something to get people talking about the stagnant James Bond property. James Bond sucked for a minute. As far as I'm concerned, Daniel Craig did good in his opening movie, and then he just went down the ravine somewhere. He went in the Grand Canyon of suck with those next couple of movies. Because I can't remember when I liked him in anything after that. He just looks like he's having a horrible time playing the character, and he looks like he's suffering from an ulcer, or that he just can't stand his female co-stars. Looks like you want to spit in the camera's face, in the camera lens or whatever. I'm just tired of looking at him. I'm tired of looking at this angry, bitter man. It's supposed to be a hero. He doesn't feel like a hero. I mean, yeah, he's a spy and everything, but there's supposed to be some kind of something relatable about him, which I don't find in the current actors' repertoire. And I'm not giving that sister no chance because she know that was some bullshit to take this role. So that just tells me that she subscribes to this new whack feminism that wants to invade your traditional male spaces, and I don't know the reason why. What to just annoy and provoke people? I mean, cause arguments, cause dissension, cause separation. I don't care. I have the option of not paying money to see their product, and I will not pay money for this crap. I don't do that. I want to be entertained, and it's been a while since I was entertained.